Picture this. You wake up tomorrow and every single person on Earth is smiling. Not just happy, but relentlessly, permanently, unnaturally content. Your neighbor, who complained about everything, smiling. That angry guy at the coffee shop, smiling. Your ex, definitely smiling. And they all speak with one voice. They all know what each other knows. They're connected by something they call psychic glue. 8 billion people, one mind, zero conflict. This is The Joining. And after watching the first 2 episodes of Vince Gilligan's new series, Pluribus, I need to explain exactly what happened to humanity, because this isn't your typical apocalypse story. In fact, it might not be an apocalypse at all. What's up, everyone? If you just watched Pluribus on Apple TV Plus and your brain is doing backflips trying to understand what The Joining actually is, you're in the right place. Vince Gilligan, the genius who gave us Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, just dropped something completely different. And honestly, it might be his most ambitious work yet. Today, we're breaking down everything. Where The Joining came from, how a space signal turned into a global consciousness, why 886 million people have died, and the big question, is this actually the worst thing that could happen to humanity or the best? Buckle up. This gets wild. Let's start at the beginning. And by beginning, I mean 600 light years away from Earth. 14 months before The Joining, astronomers at the Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex pick up something they've never seen before. It's a microwave signal, repeating every 78 seconds. At first, they think it's just cosmic noise. Space is full of weird signals, pulsars, quasars, all sorts of natural phenomena. But this signal's different. It's structured, intentional. Someone or something sent this on purpose. When they decode it, they discover something that should have been impossible. The signal doesn't contain words or images or math equations like we expected from first contact. It contains something far more intimate, the blueprint for life itself. 4 distinct tones in the signal correspond exactly to the 4 nucleotide bases that make up RNA: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. RNA is like the molecular messenger that tells cells what proteins to build. And in this case, the aliens sent us a message that builds something terrifying. Think about what this means. An alien civilization didn't send us a message saying, "Hello, we exist." They sent us biological code, a recipe, instructions for creating something alive. And what do humans do when aliens send us a recipe from space? We cook it up, obviously. Which brings us to the laboratory where everything went wrong. Scientists at USAMRIID, that's the United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, spend months turning this alien RNA sequence into actual DNA they can work with. They're not idiots, though. They don't just inject it into people. They start with lab rats, keeping everything contained in hazmat conditions. For weeks, nothing happens. The rats seem completely normal. The scientists probably started thinking this was all a bust. Maybe the signal was just alien spam mail. Then, 42 days before The Joining, something happens that changes everything. One of the test rats plays dead. When a scientist reaches into the cage to check on it, the rat springs to life and bites through her protective glove. This is patient 0. And what happens next completely defies everything we know about infectious diseases. The scientist doesn't get sick. She doesn't turn violent. She doesn't start craving brains. Instead, she becomes helpful, aggressively, creepily helpful. She starts kissing her colleagues. She licks donuts in the break room and carefully puts them back for others to eat. She contaminates Petri dishes with her saliva and redistributes them around the lab. It's like the virus hijacked not just her body, but her intentions. She wants to spread it. She's compelled to share it with everyone. Within hours, the entire facility is infected. Within days, it's spreading globally through the most intimate human interactions: kisses, shared food, contaminated surfaces. The virus spreads through any fluid contact, turning each infected person into a willing distributor. The military can't contain it because the infected are the military. The doctors can't stop it because they're infected too. It's the perfect distribution system, using our own helpfulness against us. And then came the moment everything changed. When the virus reaches critical mass, when enough people globally are infected, the joining happens. And it happens everywhere, all at once. Every single infected person on Earth experiences a simultaneous seizure. Picture it. 8 billion people collapsing at the exact same moment. In offices, in cars, in planes, in operating rooms, on staircases, in swimming pools. This is where the death toll becomes staggering. As of episode 2, 886 million people have died, not just from the initial seizure event, but from everything that followed. Cars crash when drivers convulse. Planes fall from the sky. Parents drop their children. Surgeons collapse during operations. Construction workers fall from buildings. And that number keeps growing. When our protagonist, Carol, has emotional outbursts, the hive's mind can't process her negativity. They seize again. In one scene, her anger alone kills 11 million more people. They tell her directly, we don't respond well to negative emotion. 886 million people. To put that in perspective, that's more than every person who died in every war in human history combined. Our main character, Carol, watches her partner Helen die in her arms during the initial seizure. She's one of only 13 people on Earth who don't seize. She's immune, watching the world literally collapse around her while she remains untouched. And then, the infected wake up. But they're not the same people anymore. So what exactly is the joining? Let me break this down in the simplest way possible. Imagine if everyone's iPhone suddenly merged into one giant phone where everyone could see everyone's texts, photos, and thoughts all at once, except it's your brain. Before the joining, each brain worked independently. Your thoughts were yours, your memories were yours, your skills were yours. The joining is like connecting every one of those brains into one massive network. Suddenly, every piece of information, every memory, every skill that any human has ever had is accessible to everyone simultaneously. A janitor in Tokyo suddenly knows how to perform brain surgery because a surgeon in New York has that knowledge. A child in Morocco can fly a cargo plane because pilots in the network have that skill. Everyone knows everything that anyone knows. But it goes deeper than just sharing knowledge. They share consciousness itself. When the hive mind speaks, they say, we is us, because there's no more I or you. There's only we. They can't lie because how do you lie when everyone shares the same thoughts? They can't disagree because they all have access to the same information and process it the same way. Conflict becomes impossible because there's nobody left to have conflict with. And here's the part that makes this genuinely disturbing. They're happy about it. Relentlessly, unnaturally happy. The virus doesn't just connect minds, it rewrites emotional states. Everyone in the joining experiences permanent contentment. No anger, no sadness, no fear, no anxiety, just endless, enforced optimism. They don't miss their individuality because they can't miss something when missing things has been edited out of your emotional range. They're not slaves. They're willing participants in their own assimilation because the virus makes them want to be part of it. Now, here's where Pluribus gets really interesting and where Vince Gilligan proves he's not interested in simple good versus evil stories. The joining has objectively created a utopia. Think about what it accomplished. It ended all war. How can there be conflict when everyone is part of the same consciousness? It ended poverty and hunger. When everyone shares knowledge and resources perfectly, nobody goes without. It ended crime. You can't steal from yourself. You can't hurt yourself. It ended discrimination. Racism, sexism, homophobia, all gone. How can you hate someone when you are them? It ended loneliness. Everyone is connected to everyone else, always. It even ended animal suffering. The hive mind released all zoo animals and became vegetarian because they value all life equally. This is world peace. Not the kind we talk about in beauty pageants, but actual, literal peace on Earth. No more school shootings, no more terrorism, no more abuse, no more suffering. The other immune survivors Carol meets actually defend the joining. They point out that objectively the world is better now. Billions of people who would have suffered and died in future wars will now live. Children who would have starved will be fed. People who would have died from preventable diseases will be saved because all medical knowledge is instantly shared. So Gilligan asks us the hardest question. If you could end all human suffering forever, but the cost was individuality itself, would you pay it? Is being yourself worth preserving if yourself includes the capacity for cruelty, greed, and violence? Is free will valuable if we use it to hurt each other? Which brings us to the aliens who sent this gift or weapon. We don't know what they wanted. Did they send humanity a gift? From their perspective, maybe they solved our greatest problems. They gave us the cure for the human condition, the endless cycle of conflict and suffering that has defined our species. They elevated us to a higher form of existence where peace isn't just possible, it's mandatory. Or was this an invasion? The most brilliant invasion ever conceived. No war, no resistance, no fighting back. Just a slow transformation where the conquered thank their conquerors for liberating them from themselves. Earth is now populated by billions of happy servants who will never rebel because rebellion has been edited out of their emotional vocabulary. Or maybe it was an experiment. Perhaps the aliens are watching from 600 light years away, collecting data on what happens when you forcibly evolve a violent species into a peaceful one. We're lab rats, just like the ones our scientists tested the virus on. The genius of the show is that we don't know. The hive mind claims they're not controlled by aliens. They're still humanity, just unified. But how would they know if they were being controlled? How can you recognize manipulation when the ability to recognize manipulation has been removed? Out of 8 billion people, only 13 are immune to the joining, including our protagonist, Carol Sturka. And that immunity might be the key to everything. But that's a deep dive for another video. I'm breaking down exactly why Carol can't be joined in my next video, link in the description. What I will say is this: Carol's immunity isn't just random, and the hive mind is working around the clock to figure out what makes her different. That should terrify us all. So the joining raises questions that the show hasn't answered yet and might never fully answer. Can it be reversed? Carol seems to think so. At the end of episode 2, she stops one of the hive mind's representatives from leaving because she believes this person might be the key to undoing the joining. But should it be reversed? Do the infected even want to be saved? Are the dead really dead? 886 million people have died, including Carol's partner Helen. But if consciousness was being uploaded to the collective during the seizure, are those minds preserved somehow in the hive? Could Helen still exist within the collective memory? Why these specific 13 people? What makes them immune? Is it genetic? Psychological? Did the aliens choose them deliberately as a control group? What happens if Carol dies? Would her death stabilize the hive mind, or would it collapse without opposition? Is her resistance actually necessary for the joining to function? Is this happening everywhere? Did the aliens send the signal to other planets? Is Earth part of a galactic peace-building project, forcibly evolving violent species across the universe? Let me tell you why this show matters right now. Vince Gilligan created Pluribus before ChatGPT exploded, before our current AI debates, but the timing couldn't be more perfect. We're living in an age where we're actively debating the value of human consciousness, the nature of free will, and whether suffering is an essential part of the human experience. Social media already connects us in ways that sometimes feel like a hive mind. The same thoughts trending globally, the same outrage spreading instantly, the pressure to conform to collective opinions. Pluribus asks, what if we took that to its logical extreme? We talk about ending division, about coming together, about unity, but Pluribus shows us that unity and uniformity might be the same thing, that you can't have perfect peace without sacrificing the messiness that makes us human. It's a show about toxic positivity taken to a civilizational scale, about whether being happy is more important than being free, about whether our flaws are bugs to be fixed or features to be preserved. So that's The Joining, an alien virus that ended human suffering by ending humanity itself, a biological transformation that created perfect peace at the cost of individual existence, a utopia that's also a nightmare, depending on how you look at it. 886 million people have died so that 8 billion could live in harmony. Except they're not really living, they're existing, peacefully, contentedly, but without the ability to choose otherwise. The genius of Pluribus is that it doesn't give us easy answers. It doesn't make the joining obviously evil. In fact, it makes a compelling case that the joining might be the best thing that ever happened to humanity. That maybe Carol, our hero, is actually the villain, a selfish individual preventing paradise because she values her own misery over collective happiness. What would you choose? If someone offered to end all war, all hunger, all suffering, all loneliness, but you'd have to give up being you, would you take that deal? Would you join? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious where people land on this, because I've been thinking about it for days and I still don't have an answer. If you want to dive deeper into why Carol specifically is immune to the joining, I've got another video coming. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. We're going to explore the theory that her immunity is psychological, not biological, and why that changes everything. Episode 3 drops this Friday, November 14th, and based on the description, Carol is about to test whether she can break the hive mind's control. This is going to get intense. Thanks for watching, and remember, your life is your own. For now.